Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. If you can hear me. Hang on. Yeah, I'm working. Sorry. We are looking back on our Tuesday evening league, the GTMC Season 4 Lobby 2 Round 5 at, well, can you guess? Laguna Seca. The GTMC is our multi-category championship where the sim racers are asked to choose a manufacturer and they will race the group 4s in a sprint race for 15 minutes and then jump into that manufacturer's group 3 car and race for 40 minutes, where they can choose any super soft or medium tyres, but they must use 2 compounds for a minimum of 3 laps. We're sat here in lobby 2. And let me just tell you the tables. I know it's a bit boring for you, just looking at the Laguna Seca sign, but it's meant to build anticipation whilst I get through lobby 2's table, because we are on round 5. So we've raced at 4 rounds already, and these guys are in a bitter fight for the championship. At the top, Shadow Rider, he's on a streak of wins and he's top of the table on 179 points. In second place, Skyjacker on 162 points. C-Mex is in third on 147 points, with Jim in fourth on 145 points. Geordie is fifth on 138 points, but we haven't seen him for a couple of rounds. Bunny is sixth on 134 points. Seventh is Jokus on 120 points. Pat in eighth on 114 points. Rivixter in ninth on 92 points. Jam in 10th on 69 points. 11th Flashman, 44 points. And 12th Dutch on 24 points. So that's the table for Lobby 2. And let me take you to the manufacturers, and then we will have a look at how qualifying went and what the grid looks like for the sprint race in the Group 4 cars. At the top of the table are Porsche on 179 points, with Toyota in second on 162 points, Ferrari third on 156 points, Dodge in fourth on 147 points, Hyundai fifth on 139 points, sixth for McLaren on 134 points, seventh for Jaguar on 125 points, eighth for Ford on 114 points, and ninth for Mercedes on 92 points. Now I've bamboozled you with numbers. Let's have a look at some sexy cars, shall we? That's enough of that shenanigans. So here we are for round 5 of the GTMC Lobby 2 Season 4, man. I think it's Season 4. Yeah, Season 4, sorry. And there's the grid. So let's have a look. On pole, in his McLaren, we have a Bunny looking mighty fine. This grid's really tight, isn't it? They're really close together. In second is Skyjacker in the Toyota. Group 4, remember, 10 minutes of qualifying these guys had. Shadow Rider there in third in his Porsche, carrying on with that super streak he's on at the moment. Jim in fourth in the Ferrari. That Ferrari does look sexy. It might be my favourite, that or the Porsche. Cymex in the Dodge Viper. Had a fantastic race last week, him and Bunny together. The Jag of Jokus in 6th place. Sorry for the my joystick on my controller's not very good. 7th for Pat in the Focus, the Ford Mustang, sorry. And in 8th we have Rivixter in the Mercedes. Some fine looking cars there, and these guys are raring to go for a 15-minute dash on super soft tyres around this track in California, I think. California. I might have cracked that joke at the last GTMC, so I do apologise. Here we go. Let's get on without further delay, and let's just put the controller down. Because, man, look. Stop it. Go number 1. Take that off. Oh, it's done it again. Number 1. Sorry, guys. My controller is absolutely malfunctioning in the most major of ways. And they go. Go, 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 go. Bunny. No, it's not as good to start as Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider leaping up there into the lead. Great start from the Porsche with Skyjacker. 3 in a row. Jokus and Bunny all fighting for that first corner, and Skyjacker wins. only just. Jokers hangs it around the outside there. Bunny's trying to find a way through, and he's been, oh, Jokers and Bunny having a bit of a come together, and Jokers is off in 7th. Rivixter hasn't even got started yet. So there's Shadow Rider leading from Skyjacker with Bunny. He's up into 3rd already. Jim's had a bit of an off as well in the Ferrari. Excuse me. So the Dodge is up into 3rd, ahead of a Bunny, with Pat in 5th. Sorry, Jim's in 6th. No, Joker's in 6th. Oh my God, they're really having it side by side. It's Jokers and Jim there. Ooh. One for the stewards maybe to look over. There is Rivixter in 8th. He's catching up the pack, but Shadow Rider, nothing can stop this man. Oh, except for Skyjacker coming up close behind. I was going to say nothing can stop Shadow Rider, but there goes Skyjacker. I'm going to give Skyjacker his due. I'm going to show that again in car because it looked good. Hang on, let's get a good view here and then snip back a couple. So Skyjacker, we see hounding the Porsche up the hill, braking, and there he goes. Wonderful stuff there, beautiful stuff through the corkscrew, and Shadow Rider just left in his wake. Great racing there from Skyjacker and Shadow Rider. Cymex in 3rd place. Oh, Bunny's dropping, he's having a little sandcastle moment. He's gone to kick up some sand in California, and Skyjacker leads from Shadow Rider. Cymex in 3rd. Joker's back up into 4th. He's in that battle. Pat skidding. It looks like he tapped the inside barrier there. It's all moved. Jim in 6th with Rivixter now 7th ahead of Bunny after Bunny's excursion into the desert. Skyjacker strongly leading now. He's pulled a couple of car lengths away from the Porsche. The Porsche trying to find its pace around here in California. Well, I'm going to say Laguna Seca. I don't know why I've got into the habit of saying that. And then I just hear Tupac song in my head every time I say it. California. California. So there's your top 3. Skyjacker leading the way in that Toyota, and the battle for the championship is really between Skyjacker and Shadow Rider. So Skyjacker halfway through the season having to pick up the pace and show Shadow Rider how to win a championship. Cymex there in 3rd place. He is steady Eddie. He does well. He gets the points. Pat there in a great race for him in the Mustang, up into 4th place there, while Jokers and Jim battle it out. It's the battle of the J's, J and J fighting it out, and all the Jaguar just ahead of the Ferrari there. Wow. And Jim licking his wounds after that corkscrew incident with, oh, and Rivixter, it looked like he was catching Jim up, but he looks like he's had a small off, and Bunny playing a catch up. So there he is, Skyjacker the man. He's got a purple lap on the 2nd lap. Can anyone beat it on their way through? A 1:27.695. Fantastic stuff from the Jacker of Skies. Skyjacker also in the chat saying afternoon, and Skyjacker saying like I know how to win a championship myself, lols. Well, it's out of you and Shadow. So let's see, it's interesting stuff, it's tantalising stuff. 5 races ahead after this one. We've got it all to go. So Skyjacker leading the way from Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider managing a 28.5 his last time around. Skyjacker a 27.6, nearly a second faster than Shadow Rider. Great stuff there. Cymex managing a 28.2. He's not too far behind Shadow Rider to keep the pressure on and keep Shadow Rider quite honest. In 4th, Pat having a fantastic race in the Mustang, doing a great job here at Laguna Seca. Joker's in the Jaguar. He's just ahead of Rivixter and Bunny, both managing to get ahead of Jim. Looks like Jim has had a nightmare in that Ferrari somewhere, and now we've got a fight here between the Merc and the McLaren. Oh, hello. Interesting storyline these two have had in the past. So the Mercedes and the McLaren going up against each other. So far the McLaren is left wanting, but there, oh no, the Mercedes just couldn't quite make it around the corner, and Bunny moves up into 6th place, and behind it looks like Rivixter spinning on the spot. There he goes. Oh dear, poor Rivixter. Remember, he's breaking in a new wheel there. Skyjacker dominant in his lead, a 28.6 last time around, a 28.5. So Shadow Rider matching his pace now on the second lap. Is it going to be down to tyres? How does that Toyota look after his tyres? We know in Lobby 1, those Aston Martins burn their tyres out way before the end of the race. We've seen them a couple of times leading the way and then dropping off. Simex in that Dodge. It could all be down to how they drive these cars at the end. Pat's dropped away from that top 3 battle. It looks like Jokus. Whoa, Jokus is out there wide. He's out there wide. Bunny's going to get that position. If Jokus is not careful, Jokus is back on the track again. He's back on the track, but oh, that Jaguar just does not want to go into the corners. He's having an absolute nightmare out there. And there we can see, ooh, Bunny's going for that inside line. Joker's giving it some wideness. Oh my lord, he's having some real handling difficulties in that Jaguar right now. And Bunny is swinging by up to 5th. He's not too far behind Pat. Pat did his best lap. Oh, there you see the McLaren going absolutely wide in the background. But there you can see Pat did a 1:30.3 his last time around. Was just going to cross the line, and he's going to do a 32.1 Bunny on his last time. Oh, 229s. 229s. You've got to watch your back, Pat. Watch your 6, bro, because you've got a very fast McLaren heading towards you. Meanwhile, up ahead, Skyjacker keeping it consistent, keeping it neat and tidy. But Shadow Rider just a little bit faster, eensy-weensy bit faster at this point in the race. In that Porsche, pulling the Toyota back in. Simex at 28.6 is a bit slower than the guys ahead of him. But if they catch each other up, they will truly slow each other down. So, Skyjacker, let's sit on board with the master. Racer Brown in the chat saying, hello all. Yep, the Aston Martin did use its tyres. So, Skyjacker on board. He's hunting the championship down. He's second in the championship behind Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider there sitting in second also. Skyjacker got it all under control here at Laguna Seca. As he crosses the line to get himself a 28.8. So he's losing pace. He's still in the 28s, but he's dropping to the low 28s now. We'll have a look at Shadow Rider, see how Shadow Rider's lap time compares. 28.5. He's getting a little bit closer. That pressure on Skyjacker is starting to get turned up by Shadow Rider. Simex 29.3, and that front right tyre not looking happy on the Dodge Viper. Behind them, Pat still ahead of Bunny. In fact, I'd say he's further ahead. A 1:30.6 last time around for Pat. Great stuff there, great pace. With Bunny doing a 37.5. Oh, Bunny. He's fast, but he throws it off. Jim 6th. He's slowly making his way up the order. 7th there for Rivixter. It looks like we've lost the Jaguar. The Jaguar broken down somewhere. Well, it didn't look like it had some sort of steering problem. Wouldn't go around the corners. And let's see how this battle up front is comparing. Skyjacker, he's still keeping it nice and steady. He's nearly 9 tenths down on his fastest lap. Shadow Rider does look slightly closer. We're coming up to the 9-minute mark. 9-minute mark. And these cars, it's looking like the Toyota is slower than the Porsche at this point in the race. Crosses the line for a 29.0. Shadow Rider managing a 28.8. He's only 2 tenths faster than Skyjacker, but around here that is a mile. And Skyjacker just trying to keep the Toyota going in the right direction to take a win for round 5 at Laguna Seca. Simex a 1:30.7 now. He's really losing the pace of that Dodge. He's just bringing it home for 3rd place. Pat in 4th, doing an absolutely fantastic job. Another 1:30 from Pat last time around. He's maintaining that distance from Bunny, and if he can finish there, that'll be his highest finish this season. He got a 5th in round 2. So Pat trying to maintain that position. Bunny though, very fast at 28.9 his last time around. He's got some distance between him and Pat, but we've still got 5 minutes of racing to go. Jim is very close to Bunny, a 29.6 from Jim. He's finally found that Ferrari's feet. Looks like he's just starting to burn those tyres in. Looks like they're only just coming alive. There's Skyjacker. Oh, that front right tyre really not looking happy, and he's got the shadow of riders really closing in on him now. It's scary stuff. A 28.7 for the Porsche last time around. Skyjacker at 29.3. He's dropping into those 29s now with those that tyre wear. The Porsche not suffering as bad, sitting on board with Shadow Rider as we hunt down the leader of this sprint race in the Group 4 cars for the Virtual Racers Club, GTMC Season 4. And now you can see Shadow Rider closing in on that Toyota, trying to find a weakness. He knows he hasn't got the grip in the corners. Whoa, I think he got surprised by the braking of the Toyota then. Yeah, Shadow, he's got no tyres left, mate. He's having to brake early or he won't make the corners. So Shadow Rider now realising the plight of Skyjacker. Just patience is all that's needed. We've still got a good 3.5 minutes of racing to go. Shadow Rider with all the grip in the world next to Skyjacker, who's virtually burnt halfway through his front right tyre. And Shadow Rider just waiting for his moment, like taking candy from a baby. Probably feels a little bit guilty, I imagine. Probably thinks, well, you know, it's like putting a wounded animal out of its misery. I mean, Shadow Rider, really, you should just sit behind him. Just wait. There's Pat in the chat saying hello there now. And Shadow Rider still waiting for his moment. Skyjacker doing some immense defending right now, keeping that car as wide as possible, trying to not lose as much time in the corners as possible. Skyjacker dropping a spoiler, but I'm not going to say. Shadow Rider. There's Cymex, 129.9. He's picking up the pace. Oh well, and he's been about similar, 137. Just a tough lap that time round. I'm scared to pull away from this battle because I think Shadow Rider might make a lurch any moment now. As Skyjacker struggling with that front end grip in that Toyota. It's now 13 minutes. He's only got 2 more minutes to hold on. Can he manage it? Pat still in his 4th place with Bunny in 5th, Jim in 6th, Rivixter in 7th. We'll have a quick look through. I think this battle's going to continue for a short while yet. So I'll let him get over the finish line and then I'll have a look through the rest of the fields. Oh, it's so close. It's so tough to pull away. So there's Skyjacker. I can always click back in time, can't I, with Shadow Rider. Cymex there in 3rd. Pat, an amazing 4th place. Jim's got ahead of Bunny. Jim, this was the battle. Let us just click back a little bit then. See how much rate. Oh, it just looks like a small mistake from Bunny. And Jim inherits that position as they're coming up to the very fast corner. Oh, the curbs just unsettled the McLaren. And he scrambles to get back on the track. And Jim says thank you. A nice 5th place will look very good amongst my other finishing positions. So Skyjacker, they've just gone across the line, so we've missed nothing, and we've managed to do a run through, so that's not bad, is it, eh? Oh, and this looks like it's the one. Skyjacker, he's got no grip in the early part of this corner. He's trying his hardest to defend that spot. Shadow Rider, he's got, well, Shadow Rider's tyres are starting to look really painful as well. I imagine Shadow Rider not getting no downforce behind, but these cars don't really have any downforce anyway to speak of. But yes, I imagine that Shadow Rider is struggling with that. Oh, it's that corner though, it's that corner. Shadow Rider should realise that corner. Skyjacker is really weak, he wants to get really close to him. before that corner the next time around, and then he'll just slip it. Oh, Shadow Rider nearly losing on the curbs as they come up towards the corkscrew. Skyjacker knows. Oh, he doesn't feel guilty. Okay. Jim saying you don't have to keep looking through the field, honestly. It's good. It's good racing. I love it. It's cracking. Everyone seemed to walk away from Tuesday night with a bit of a downer, but the lobby one. Hey, here he comes, Skyjacker. Can't defend against this one now. Shadow Rider up the outside. He's going for the outside. No, Skyjacker back there, but there he does the old flip-itty flop. Does Shadow Rider, but it's not worked. Skyjacker still leading. So, Skyjacker, you can't sling one past me that easily. Oh, it's a shame that wasn't 15 minutes, because now we're at the 15-minute mark. These guys are going to finish. There's Cymex going across the line for third place. Virtually, there he is. Pat coming around for fourth. He wasn't that far behind Cymex in the end. So a great run from Pat with his highest finish of the race. God, I want to go back to the leaders. There is a Jim doing a fantastic job for fifth place in the Ferrari, closely followed by the McLaren of Bunny. Could have been a different race for Bunny if he kept it on the track. There's Rivixter. He's coming around, he's quite away. Where are these two? Skyjacker still leading from Shadow Rider. This is immense stuff here. Skyjacker, is this the weak corner? No, we've missed the weak corner. And Shadow Rider, I think his tyres are gone. I don't think he can do anything about the Toyota now. I think the Toyota is bringing it home to glory. And Shadow Rider, I think he missed his opportunity in early doors. A couple of laps ago, he really needed to make a move on the ailing Toyota, and now his car itself has got himself into a bit of a stupor, and it looks like Skyjacker. This is going to be hard to pause, isn't it, for heaven's sakes, because they're close together. And here comes Skyjacker going around the final corner. Shadow Rider trying anything he can, taking a real different line. And this Rivix is just in front of him as well. Skyjacker coming home to take... Ooh. Eek. He's not going to do you from there, is he? Sorry, guys. There you go. Whew. Skyjacker takes the win. Fantastic stuff. I honestly thought Shadow Rider was going to get him before the end of this race, but no. Great driving from Skyjacker and Shadow Rider. Very respectful. And it's a 1-2 for the Toyota and Porsche. So Skyjacker, let me have a little look down. That's Skyjacker's second win of the season. He won at the Red Bull Ring for round 1 sprint race. So back to winning ways, back to tasting that champagne. Cracking stuff. Shadow Rider's streak just continues and continues, really does. It's all mainly 1s and 2s down there along his column. After his double win last round, Cinquois. Third for Cymex, great stuff there. He got a double third last round. So that's 3 threes in a row. 3 podiums. Take a boo, my son. Cracking stuff there. 4th for Pat. Well done, Pat. Your highest finish this season. You got a 5th in the feature race at round 2. And now in the sprint race, just outside the podium. 1 more place, Pat. 1 more position. And you're on the podium. Get on it. So in the chat, Racer Brown says, congratulations Skyjacker, and great drive from all. Great battle with Shadow. Skyjacker saying, I was expecting him to take me on the last lap, to be honest. It was great racing, Shadow Rider. So yeah, Pat 4th. Brilliant stuff there from Pat. 5th for Jim in the Ferrari. Looked like it took a while for that Ferrari to get warmed up, but as soon as it did, it was solid and near the end of that race. So 6th for Bunny. Wow, Bunny's story, man. He was up and he was down. From his double podium from the last 2 rounds, he got 2 thirds at round 3 and 2 twos, 2 second places. At round 4, he's down to 6th there in round 5. He's got to start getting up the thing for a championship run. Still not too late. Only the 5th round of the championship so far. And Rivixter, we're guessing he's still getting used to that wheel out there. But I also think that Mercedes is a bit of a handful myself. But 7th is his top finish, even though it's last place, but still top finish there for Rivixter. I'd take it. however they come. So let me go back to Shadow Rider so he can have his glory moment as he crosses the line. Boom. Barely a moment, Shadow. Sorry, mate. And we'll move on to the feature race, which I should have... I preloaded before we went online, so it shouldn't take too long. We should be straight into it. I know that the magic number on the Wheel of Death came out as number 11, which for this lobby just means a complete reverse order on the tracks. And Skyjacker says, thanks, bud. I think that's Teresa Brown for the congratulations. Or me for doubting that he was going to get that win. I thought it was just that corner, that one corner you really had to heavy brake at, Skyjacker. I thought Shadow Rider was going to just whip it up the inside of that one. So there's Grid, Rivixter, Bunny, Jim, Pat. So it doesn't... Oh, and Jokers did come back. So placed in last place in that Jaguar. Let's hope he gets a better run with the Jaguar Group 3. Rivixter starting on the super softs. Let's have a quick look. There's Bunny on the softs in the McLaren. Jim on the softs. Pat's going for soft. Cymex is on the soft. Shadow Rider soft. Skyjacker on the soft. And Jokers on the super soft. So Rivixter... Skyjacker saying, I always doubt I'm going to win, mate. So Rivixter takes them away. I ain't got no volume on my TV. It sounds really weird with no car engines. So Rivixter there has led them away. Bunny in second on those super softs. Rivixter we'll be hoping to pull away a bit of a lead from these guys. Bunny there in second, trying to keep up with the Mercedes, with Jim in third, Pat fourth, Cymex there in fifth, Shadow Rider in sixth, Skyjacker in the Toyota in seventh, and Jokers there in eighth, also on those super softs, so he'll be trying to catch up the fields as quick as he can. Pat in the chat, it was a nice feeling to get that Group 4 result, but it helps having smaller race fields. Nothing, no. Wouldn't have mattered if there was 16 there. You still finished fourth. I imagine it's irrelevant how many's in the group. So Rivixter. Woohoo! Bunny getting a lovely little move on Rivixter there. I think we're going to have to see that from Bunny's angle, I'm afraid. I don't want to delay this very much because I'm very aware that there's a massive finale tonight I'm covering live. So, but let's just whoa, very nice. That, honestly, guys, that deserves something. But brilliant stuff there from Bunny. Brilliant. Wow, amazing. So Bunny takes the lead of the feature race. We're only the first lap in it, so let's not all get too excited there. But that was a lovely little... It was just more of an avoidance, and it was great. So Rivixter in second. Jim up into his third with Pat on his case in the Mustang. Cymex in fifth. Shadow Rider sixth, all over the back of the Dodge. Seventh for Skyjacker, but he's under threat from the Jaguar. The Jaguar trying to have a look around the outside. It's going to be tough around there. He's on the super soft tyres, so they're a bit stickier. He might be able to put one on the Toyota there. He's imagining has got a better straight line speed than the little Supra, but he's out there eating dust, and that is not the way to go quick. So Bunny leading from Rivixter. Pat up into third. Don't know what's happened to Cymex. Cymex dropped down a position. Cymex has dropped down a position, so Pat now in the Mustang up into third, with Cymex in fourth, wanting it back though. Didn't lose too much time. Shadow Rider in fifth. Oh, it's Jim that's dropped down. Sorry, it's Jim. Jim's lost a few positions there. Skyjacker managing to fend off that Jaguar for now, and he's closing in on that Ferrari. So Bunny is leading the way from Rivixter in the Mercedes. Steady head, Rivixter. Keep her calm, keep her steady. You can do it. Pat there up into third in the Ford Mustang. Keep it cool. There's Shadow Rider making a move on the Dodge, and he's made a lovely move on the Dodge. Very makes it look easy. It makes it look easy there. So Shadow Rider now up into fourth, chasing down the Ford Mustang. Cymex trying to get control of that American beast there on those soft tyres. Imagine the tyres still warming up from it, and Shadow Rider really throwing that Porsche around. Looks like it's a lovely handling machine for him. on those racing soft tyres. He's really caught up Ford Mustang really quickly. Pat under threat from the Porsche. Meanwhile, Skyjacker's got himself... Oh, Jim's dropped down again. Jim's dropped down a little bit behind Jokus and Skyjacker. And Cymex there in 5th behind Shadow Rider, who's now pushing it all over the back of Pat. And Pat's not too far behind Rivixter. So we've got a lovely battle here for 2nd place. Whoa, Rivixter losing it in the corkscrew again. They both make their way through, Pat and Shadow Rider. Oh, I don't want to do too many replays, but that would have looked lovely. I'm going to have to. Sorry, guys. I apologise. But some of this just looks beautiful. So, oh, sorry, Rivixter. It's just the way. But that was beautiful there. Shadow Rider and Cymex following them through. Some cracking racing here. And Pat up into 2nd now. Pat in 2nd spot. With Bunny leading, Shadow Rider all up in his 6ers, and Cymex not too far behind him. Rivixter in 5th place, trying to get the control of that Mercedes. She's a beast. Skyjacker in 6th now in the Toyota. Jokus in 7th. Jim losing the pack a little bit there, trying to get that Ferrari under control. I don't know if I've ever driven the Ferrari, so it's hard to say. I think it is a bit of a beast to handle. I've heard people moan about it. So Bunny there in the McLaren. They said it was underpowered, but look at him go. Put it around here at Laguna Seca, and he's pulling away. Pat ahead of Shadow Rider. We're now 5 minutes virtually into this race. Cymex in 4th. Rivixter in 6th. Skyjacker close up behind the Mercedes. It's really close fighting from 2nd all the way to the Jokus. Jim's dropped off a little bit, but Pat, oh, bouncing off those curbs on the Mustang, but it looks like he's pulled away from Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider is now under threat from Cymex. Cymex edging forward ever closer to the Porsche, putting pressure on the Porsche. Oh, and now we saw the Mustang losing it in the oh my, the Mustang losing it in the corkscrew. This is crazy stuff. So Pat there in 2nd spot, just I don't know what happened, if he got on the curbs a little bit too much. He's on the brakes, he's trying to come down, and oh, he's just gone a little bit wide into the corkscrew. Everyone does it, everybody, but the field is so closed up. It puts him right down there with Jokus and Rivixter in 4th. So Skyjacker, we've lost Skyjacker somewhere. We've lost Skyjacker, I don't know. So he's just coming up the back. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me, the Toyota it's not subtle in the corners. It really isn't. And oh, he's just doing donuts for fun out there at the moment. So Bunny leading the way, sliding that McLaren through the corners, absolutely beasting it ahead of the gang. Shadow Rider, he's got a mountain to climb ahead of him, but it's a long race, very long race ahead of him. It's not over yet. And there is Cymex not far behind us. Shadow Rider trying to keep up. And oh my lord, it looks like Pat's internet's starting to have a little poo. Rivixter there in 4th. Pat there in 5th. No, it looks all under control again. It looked, when he come around that corner, it looked like he was snaking. But it looks like it's all under control again now. With a Jokus there in 6th. A Jim in 7th. And Skyjacker putting it in the pits. Is he putting it in the pits for good? Or is he just changing strategies? We will wait and see. It's a long pit lane, so it's quite early to make a stop. Bunny there, absolutely flying out in the front. He did a 124.1 last time around. Shadow Rider at 23.5. So Shadow Rider somewhat faster than the McLaren right now. Cymex doing a 23.6, trying to keep on the back of that Porsche. Pat there ahead of Rivixter, but he's gone out wide. He's gone out wide through the very fast corner, and Rivixter there. He's coming at him. He's coming up at the 4th. They're breaking into the corkscrew. There's 3 of them there. There's 3 of them. Joker's absolutely looks like he missed all braking going on there. I am not sure, but Pat just smoothly cruises on through up into 4th. Joker's, he's lifting, I think, to let Rivixter through, or check his wrists are alright, because he must have felt that if he had his force feedback up any quite high. And there, Rivixter going wide in that corner. Oh no, Jim spun out. We saw Jim spin out. Was it Jim spin out? I think he was racing with Rivixter. Let's have a look. Oh, he's going for a move on Rivixter. Oh, and that hill gets right in the way there, doesn't it, eh? Yeah, it looks like, I don't know, I think he lost it on the curb or something, because the hill got in the way. But there, Jim, his woes with the Ferrari continue on. So he's gone into the pits as well, same as Skyjacker. So Bunny leading the way on those soft tyres, 3/4 of a tank of fuel. He'll be thinking strategies. He's getting purples. Did a 23.463 his last time around. Shadow Rider a 23.1, but Cymex absolutely coming to life. He's really on the back of that Porsche. So Cymex then, man to watch at this point in the race. Jim is in the pits, going with the same strategy as Skyjacker. We're only just coming up to 8 minutes in the race. In the chat, we've got Skyjack saying you can only beat who else is also what's on the track, Pat. Well done on such a tough track, Pat said, especially since I've been struggling with the Group 4 before this race. Race Brown said nice move that. Jim saying the Ferrari was horrible on this track. I was scared to touch the brakes. And Pat saying brake too late into the corkscrew, nothing more than that. Ah, right. He was pushing it. He was pushing it. He wanted the win, didn't you, Pat? You were just finding where the edge of the track was. So we've just sat on board for Cymex for a while I read the streams out. I don't think much changed. Bunny a lead in, a Shadow Rider in second, Cymex there in third. He did a 23.3 his last time around. Shadow Rider a 23.5. So Cymex at this point in the race is somewhat quicker than the Porsche, and it looks like 23.1 for Bunny. Bunny's absolutely in a world of his own, getting into a rhythm. Sliding that McLaren. He's really brave with the McLaren, the way he slides. We saw it at St. Croix last round how brave he is, sliding that car through the corners. Shadow Rider, oh, he's under threat now from Cymex. Pat there in fourth, another solid fourth for Pat, ahead of Jokus in fifth in the Jaguar. Jokus has got the fastest lap of the race, a 22.930 so far, so absolutely crazy racing from Jokus. Rivixter there in sixth, Jim is seventh, and Skyjacker is not far behind Jim, so there's a tantalising race between the two early pit stoppers. They've both gone onto the super soft tyres, so that is tantalising, one to keep an eye out for. So Bunny out there in the lead. I don't know if you heard that spell, she's me rubbing my nose. So Bunny leading from Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider has got Cymex really coming close to him. They're going across the line. Cymex posts a 23.590. Shadow Rider 24.0. He's starting to lose some sort of speed in that Porsche right now, and the Dodge Viper is looking absolutely fighty. Jokus has come in for those super soft tyres, half a tank of fuel. We're only at the 10-minute point, a quarter into the race. Joker's stopping. It's very early. Bunny then leading from Shadow Rider, but Shadow Rider's got it all to do, trying to defend that spot from Cymex. Let's see if he learned any tricks from Skyjacker in that first race. As we sit on board with Cymex. Cymex nearly losing it on the curb there. And that gives Shadow Rider a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of breathing space. I'm just downing my warm beverage. Yum yum. This track, I can't tell the difference from, at this time of day, you can't tell the difference from the desert and the track. I thought Shadow Rider had gone off then, but no, Shadow Rider has pulled out a nice little lead on Cymex there. Bunny, he's not a major miles ahead of him. He's got a healthy lead, I'll grant you that. It's his to throw away. He's got half a tank of fuel. His soft tyres are looking okay for now. That Red Bull McLaren looks beautiful around here, I've got to say. Got any different shots? They had some really flash shots in the live one. There you go. We'll watch the leader going around for a lap or two. I think we've lost someone. Rivixter may have gone, unless he's right at the back. But there we see. Or Jim. No, Jim's still there. Bunny doing the business out there in the lead. It's a lovely colour in this sunlight, like a purpley blue on that Red Bull as it makes its way around Laguna Seca, leading. Shadow Rider still maintaining that second spot ahead of Cymex. Cymex though a little bit faster. Pat still maintaining fourth, but he's just struggling through. Corkscrew wiggling that Ford Mustang's backside to try and get some traction onto the track and get moving. And there he goes, fourth place for him. Jokers, we saw, was in the pits. He's put the racing softs on. Doesn't look like he's touched the fuel though, just a tight pit stop. I mean a tyre stop there. Skyjacker not far behind, and Jim not far behind Skyjacker, so we've got a lovely tantalising battle brewing ahead here. Skyjacker did look like he put some fuel in when he pitted. Jim not so much. So strategy, strategy, strategy. Everyone's got a game. Everyone's got a game in their head to grab a few positions. There is Bunny. His game at the moment is go fast. Just push like hell and see how far that fuel tank will last. Shadow Rider, he's burned up at, well, it's about similar fuel burn from the two leaders. It looks like he's dropping Cymex now. Cymex did a 24.5 his last time around. He's really burnt up a lot of fuel as the Dodge. 23.5, yes, second faster was Shadow Rider, but we did see Cymex having that big moment over the curbs. But yeah, that Dodge is very thirsty. He's used a quarter of a tank of fuel up, where these guys are just under half a tank. Game of cat and mouse for Bunny and Shadow Rider right now. Cymex trying to keep up, but he's burning fuel doing so. Pat also using up more fuel than the leaders in that fourth place. He must be starting to feel the burn on those tyres. He did a 28.7 his last time around. Ooh, he's looking like he's struggling to get that Mustang around the corners as he crosses the line to post a 26.9. His fastest is a 24.1. So yeah, he's losing a bit of pace through those tyres. Joker's pitted before just a couple of laps ago. He just posted his fastest with a 22.9, and he's absolutely on a rush. He's really flying. Just did a 22.3 going over the line then, and he's really finding a rhythm in that Jaguar on the racing soft tyres now. Skyjacker on the super softs. 22.5, 22.3, 22.5. He's on and he's got the fastest lap with the 21.830 on lap 7. So he's really starting to find a rhythm in that Toyota as he chases the Jaguar down. And they've left Jim behind. Jim posting his fastest lap time last time around with the 23.7. So it's a respectable lap time in that Ferrari, but as he said in the chat, he just didn't want to touch the brakes. It wasn't fun to drive at Laguna Seca. Bunny on an absolute flyer at the moment out there. 24.1 last time around from him, with Shadow Rider posting a 24.6. Shadow Rider, he's feeling those tyres. They're a little bit more worn than the McLarens. McLaren doing an absolutely fantastic job. We're nearly 16 minutes into this 40-minute race. It looks like Bunny has done all the work in the first 10 minutes of this race, and all he has to do now is stay on the track and just keep it consistent. Shadow Rider's the one that has to do all the work, and at the moment he hasn't got the car underneath him to do it. Should he pit? He might want to go the halfway mark and only pit once. I suppose he wants to match what Bunny's doing, but Bunny at the moment with a faster car is hurting Shadow Rider. So Shadow Rider may have to think about a different strategy, but he's also got to be mindful that Cymex is not far behind him. Simex 25.2 last time. Oh, Simex will pit. Here comes Simex into the pits then from third. Pat, he's not quite ready for a pit stop yet, but he's a little bit back from Simex. Simex might just be able to get back on track before Pat catches up. Skyjacker in fifth. He's got himself ahead of the Jaguar. Jaguar did a 26.3 the last time around, with Skyjacker at 22.7. That's absolutely super consistent lap times. There's Simex in the pits. He's only just got to his pit box, so I was wrong about Pat. Pat's easily driving past him. His tyres quite worn. Still got a fair chunk of fuel in that Mustang though. Next to what the Viper had, there's Skyjacker. He's starting to reap the rewards of that consistent lap times and the early pit stop. Still got half a tank of fuel in that car. If he can keep those super softs alive for a bit longer, he's going to find himself in a very nice position in the end results. Joker's in fifth place. He was flying, his fuel's getting low. It might mean the car's starting to handle a bit differently for him. Here comes Simex. Simex is rejoining the track at the same point of Joker's. He's behind Joker's. He's filled her right up. He's put racing softs on, so he is going to pit again. Bunny out in the lead there. He's still got plenty of fuel on that car. He's lost some pace from those tyres. A 23.5 his last time around though. It's not bad. Shadow Rider has come in. Those tyres are done. And Bunny continues on with a 23.8. He's got a super consistent lap times with those used tyres. And Shadow Rider coming into the pits to get a fresh set of boots and a bit of fuel. Not quite the halfway mark, so he might have to pit again to stop from Shadow Rider, where it's looking likely the McLaren is one stop in tonight. And Pat there in second place. Pat doing an absolutely superb job. Is he going to go one stop? Can he make that Ford Mustang go? His fuel's only just flashing. He's going to do. Yeah, of course he is. It's going to take him a minute, more than a minute, to come back around, and it'll be halfway through the race by the time he comes around to the pits again. So Pat on a super strategy at the moment, with Bunny also on a great strategy. His fuel's really lasted for him. Shadow Rider back out of the pits on those super softs. He's only just a little bit over half a tank. He's going to try and do a sprint now, try and catch up some time, plus a pit stop on Bunny. And Bunny has come in. Bunny has come in. He had another lap, but those tyres are looking pretty mullered. Still 30 seconds shy of halfway, but by the time he pulls up to the pit lane, and it looks like Pat can't take that car another lap. Can he get to the pit stops before Shadow Rider catches him up? Shadow Rider, he doesn't want to be held up by anyone at the moment. He just wants to get on with a few qualifying style laps on those super softs. Try and gain a little bit of time on Bunny. Whilst the Mustang on old tyres, there he goes into the pits. So nothing to hold Shadow Rider up. It's all he's got to do it. He's got to come and take it from Bunny. Bunny just starting to leave the pit lane, but don't forget it's a very strange pit lane. Goes all the way around. Bunny totally filled up the fuel. He's put the racing softs on. Is he on the super softs? I can't quite recall now. But there goes Bunny out into the lead, ahead of Shadow Rider. So Bunny doing enough to stay in the lead of this race. Shadow Rider, he's got to overtake him and get some 30 seconds up the roads from him to account for another pit stop before the end of this race, because that fuel won't get him all the way till the end, where Bunny's just might do it. So Bunny doing an absolutely cracking race there. Shadow Rider, it's got it all to do. Simex still in a solid third place. He seems to have lost the two in front though. Skyjacker in fourth, but he'll be looking to do a pit stop soon. Those tyres looking quite old. He's into the 23s now. Oh, has he pitted recently? Done a 42 on lap 13. I don't know if that was a pit stop, but those tyres still look too old for it to be a pit stop. So I dread what that 42 lap was. So Pat there in fifth. He's pitted, he's fully booted, filled up for his one-stop strategy. Will it work for him? That'll plonk him somewhere around, well, Shadow Rider maybe, if he can get his nip on, if he can get going. He could be around where Shadow Rider is. After the pit stop, Shadow Rider was behind Pat. So there's, if Pat can get a good consistent lap times going in that Mustang, Shadow Rider should come out of the pits behind him. Interesting stuff then. Bunny leading Shadow Rider. This is not what he needs. 23.0 last time around for Shadow Rider. Bunny only completed his out lap, but it looks like he's pulled away from the Porsche. Jim has taken the Ferrari into the pits. I believe he's already made a pit stop already, so this is his second pit stop of the evening. Bunny doing an absolute fantastic job in the McLaren so far. Shadow Rider, he wants another win for his collection. Obviously hungry for it. The 4 wins he's already had this season, not enough for him. Ooh, he's kicking up the dust. Bunny so far this season, he's got close with a second, but there's no wins on his ledger so far. I think he may have won. I don't think he's won a race in the PRC, I'm not sure. I know he takes part in the PRC, the big final tonight. I know that makes no difference if you're watching after the event. I am quite nervous. What is it? It's only 6 o'clock, isn't it? We've got 17 minutes left of this race. Yeah, I'm going to have plenty of time before the actual PRC specific gym starts. So Bunny doing a fantastic job there. In first, Shadow Rider. He's not far behind him, but we still think Shadow Rider will have to pit before the end of this race. Cymex also. I don't know if he's going to be able to make that Mustang go all the way. He's coming across Jim. Jim being lapped at the moment, not having a great time in that Ferrari. 4th, Skyjacker in the Toyota. What a comeback for the man, but his tyres are absolutely burnt out. He's doing 24s. Oh, that 42 really is annoying me, Skyjacker, because you were doing some amazing lap times. Pat then 5th, 1 stop in it. He did his fastest, 23.865. The last time around, that's the way to do it, Pat. Come on. Podium for Pat if he keeps this up, I reckon. Jocus, he has recently been in, put some softs on. Filled up with fuel. Is that enough fuel for him to the rest of the race? 15.5 minutes remaining in this race, and Jim there, he's recently pitted. Super softs, top toe right up, and see if he can get that Jocus that's not too far ahead of him, really, is he? Jocus in 6th. Skyjacker's in the pits. We saw his tyres looking rather. No, yeah, Jocus is quite away. Jim's got to rely on Jocus making a mistake to catch him up. Skyjacker's gone in. Pat's moved up with that 1-stop strategy, so that's one that Skyjacker has to try and get past. He's not got to his markers yet, and it's a long ask for a set of tyres to go. 15 minutes in this race. Pat there, obviously he's asking them to go 20 minutes, so Cymex there in 3rd place. Half a tank of fuel. That Dodge is thirsty. Great catch, Cymex. Brilliant stuff there. So Bunny, it's not a big distance between Bunny and Shadow Rider, but we think Bunny, ooh, he is burning through that fuel. Probably a little bit more than he should be, really. He wants to be on half a tank of fuel at the 30-minute mark, and he's nearly at the half a tank of fuel at the 26-minute mark. So Bunny, to try and stay ahead of Shadow Rider, he probably wanted to sit behind Shadow Rider, would have been his best tactic. He's just done the fastest lap on lap 16, 21.5. Shadow Rider, yeah, Shadow Rider, he's fuel saved, I believe. 22.2. He's evening this race right up between himself and Bunny. Looks like Bunny burning through the fuel, trying to go fast. He's going to have to come in for a splash and dash before the end of the race, as is Shadow Rider. Cymex there, definitely. Well, he's on half a tank of fuel. But yeah, like I said, it should be the 30-minute mark. You want to be on that half a tank of fuel to make sure you've got enough to go all the way. Pat there, 3/4 of a tank. He's doing the right thing. He's definitely doing the right thing there, Pat. This 1 stop, he's making it work. 23.6 the last time around from him. It's the fastest he's been. So Pat looking good, I'd say, for a podium. I don't know, how far behind Simek is he? He's quite a way behind Simek, I don't know. Not sure. Can't call it. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight when Simek pits. So Bunny leading the way. I don't think he's going for that one stop now. I think he's just going to go burn that fuel. He knows Shadow Riding. He probably has an inkling that Shadow Rider probably has to have a pit again. But I don't suppose there is any way of knowing. You don't know what fuel other people have got out there. So Bunny, all he knows is he's racing Shadow Rider, and Shadow Rider isn't far behind. And he's maintaining pace with him. A 22.7 last time around for Shadow Rider. Bunny doing a 22.0. 22.2, great lap times from these guys in this group. Simex in third, 23.8. Is he starting to lift off now? I reckon he's starting to lift off. He knows he can't do anything about the guys ahead of him, so maybe he's trying to eke that fuel out. We saw that the Dodge was the thirstiest car in the first stint. Pat then in fourth, still doing great with that fuel, a 23.1 last time around, so he's going faster and faster. We've got 12 minutes remaining in this race. Joker's now ahead of Skyjacker after Skyjacker's pit stop. Joker's, has he got enough fuel? He's not far off enough fuel for the race to go without a pit. So that means Skyjacker's got a lot to do. And he doesn't look like he's going to have enough fuel for the race, half a tank. I'm surmising you're going to need half a tank at about the 30-minute mark. So I'm nervous for that Toyota's fuel tank there. And Jim doing a cracking job in that Ferrari. We did a 34 last time around. He's not enjoying that Ferrari around Goodsecker. Bunny, super consistent lap times in the 22s for the main. Shadow Rider dropping away from Bunny now. His fuel's under a quarter. And Bunny, he's still got half a tank of fuel. 29 minutes. I may be wrong. Maybe Bunny can make that fuel last. After Shadow Rider's pitted, Bunny can ease right off the accelerator. He can lean the engine out a bit. Fuel save through the engine. Short shift. There's lots of options for him. I imagine now he just needs to burn those, put those lap times in to make sure Shadow Rider can't get ahead and pull away before his pit stop. Simex. He's down to nearly a quarter of a tank of fuel as we're coming up to nearly the 10 minutes left mark. And Shadow Rider has come in. He's coming to the pits. Hasn't quite worked out the way he wanted it with that really short sprint. Hoping that Bunny was going to do some fuel saving. And I don't know. Bunny's got half a tank of fuel. It's 30 minutes. I eat my words. I do apologise. I got it all wrong. It does look like Bunny can make that fuel. I thought he was burning through it too quick. Simex then up into second spot. Quarter of a tank of fuel left. Shadow Rider topping up. He's going to need just under half a tank of fuel to get it to the end of this race. There's Pat. He's on about half a tank of fuel. Can he jump? Shadow Rider. No, Shadow Rider's out of the pit lane. So Pat, he's not quite making it. He's in the final corner now. Oh, it was so close for Pat, but I think Shadow Rider is now coming around the first corner. Pat's still down the start straight, and there is Shadow Rider out onto the pits in third place, ahead of Pat, who is just getting to the first corner now. So yes, Shadow Rider doing enough to fend off the Ford Mustang. And Bunny, he can start leaning that engine out now. Simex quite a way behind, and Simex still has to pit before the end of this race, and he was quite a way behind Shadow Rider also, so we assume he'll come out behind Shadow Rider. So there's still an opportunity for Pat to edge ahead of Simex after Simex's pit stop, so it's not all over and done for Pat yet. Watch this space. Pat doing a 24.7 his last time around though. He's starting to get ragged. Keep it calm, keep it cool. Remember what your sensei taught you. I think he's been having lessons with IR Graham I don't know for sure. But G Riches might want to have a word with you, because he really hated that Mustang. Like Jim doesn't like the Ferrari tonight. G Riches really hated the Mustang on Tuesday night. So G Riches might want to PM Pat in Discord, ask him, what is it you do? Because this so far is looking great for Pat. It really is. 23.8 for Pat then as he crosses the line. He's quite a way ahead of Jokus. Jokus there doing a consistent 24.2 the last time for Jokus. Skyjacker's the one on the push at the moment, but I feared he wasn't going to have enough fuel, but I got that totally wrong about Bunny. So I'm assuming I've got it totally wrong about Skyjacker, but Skyjacker closing in on the Jaguar right now. Jaguar as he closes, he's 24.0 for Jokus that last time around in the Jaguar. Skyjacker at 22.3 in the Toyota, absolutely flying, and he's closing in on the Jaguar extremely quick. There goes Cymex. Cymex is into the pits. Cymex is into the pits, and I'm not sure about Bunny's fuel. I'm not sure. Shadow Rider then into second place. He's going to be as he comes around this last corner, and Pat, he's dropped away from Shadow Rider. What's happened? Has Pat had a big off? He wasn't far behind Shadow Rider, but Shadow Rider's going over the line there. 22.4 from Shadow Rider. Pat was only just behind him, but I'm not sure now. Cymex is down. He's got to put fuel in it though. Pat is coming around the final corner. This is cracking stuff. There goes Cymex, but he's got to go all the way through the first corner. Pat there, he's coming down just past the start straight. It looks like Cymex is going to maintain that third spot. I'm not sure. Here comes Pat into the first corner. I don't think he's going to do enough, has he? Whoa, what's going on? Cymex there. He's out into the pits. He's out onto the track. Third place ahead of Pat. Oh, Pat did a 27.8 on lap 23, the lap that it counted. Oh, dear. Poor Pat. Never mind, never mind. Fourth place. Very good, very good. Don't dwell on the bad laps, you just crack on and get another good lap. Bunny there in first place then, 23.041. Last time across the line for Bunny. Shadow Rider, 22.4. He's on a push. He's on a push, but he's a mile behind. That fuel is tight for the McLaren. I'm really not sure. Shadow Rider in second place with Cymex, just about grabbing that third. Pat having a bit of a wild one through the corkscrew. It's all falling to pieces. The wheels are falling off that Mustang in the latter parts of the race. Coming up to the 35-minute mark. Jokus will be catching him up if he makes too many mistakes. Pat, you got to keep it cool, keep it calm. Jokus is under pressure from Skyjacker. Skyjacker catching up. That Jaguar, and he's right on the tail of the Jaguar now. He's looking for a way past the Jag. He's not a lap. It's not blue flags for them though, is it? I think Jokus is on lap 24, and so Skyjacker. Yeah. Oh, that's Bunny coming through. That's why they're getting the blue flags, because Bunny is on his way with 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes left of this race. Bunny has gone in for a splash and dash. Where does this leave Shadow Rider? My word, I honestly didn't expect Bunny to come into the pits. And Shadow Rider, he's just done his fastest lap with a 21.947. It's not the fastest lap of the race, but he's some way away from that final straight. We think Bunny might be alright, just come in a quick splash and dash, but it's very surprising. I thought that might have been enough. And Shadow Rider, he's got to do all he can to jump the McLaren. Cymex safe in that third place now with Pat in fourth all by himself. Bunny, it says he's down second, but he's out on the track. Shadow Rider is just coming around the final corner. So Bunny all under control there for the McLaren team. They did a great job with that pit stop. He didn't put any fuel in, he's just put the super softs on. So he hadn't used the super softs. I was correct. And if I picked up on that, I would have said how he would have had to come into the pits, but he's had to come in just to put some super softs on there. Shadow Rider, it's a bit far in it. 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes of racing. It's a little too far to ask Shadow Rider to do. Cymex there has come across the Ferrari on track. Pat going 24/7 out of the Mustang last time around, starting to get it back under control, I say. I say, hey Pat. So close to a third, dude, so close. It's there, it's in touching distance, my friend. Skyjacker there in 5th. He's done away with the Jokers, but his fuel is looking very scary. He's not going to make it, not with 3 minutes to go still of racing. So Skyjacker getting ahead of Jokers. Jokers to the 28.0 his last time around. He's done 3 or 4 bad laps as Jokers. Where Skyjacker, he's been in those 23s. Did the 29 on lap 23. But he's burnt through his fuel, and Jim there just trying to stay out of the way of the top 3. Bunny then leading the way. It's just a tall order for Shadow Rider, especially as he's been doing similar lap times as Bunny. We're on lap 27 here for the GTMC Season 4, Round 5 of Lobby 2 at the Virtual Racers Club. And what a very interesting race we have had. Very tactical here from some of these guys. They're spaced out now though in the latter parts of the race. I don't think there's really any racing on. It's at these moments I should talk about how wonderful heel tread socks are. I have a lovely pair myself. They're now my lucky socks. I wear them for special occasions, for commentating on the big finales. So I'll be putting them on later on for the specific gym finale at Brands Hatch GP track for the Group 3 cars. 2 beautiful 40-minute races we'll be looking forward to. I've been looking at my G29 steering wheel lately, thinking it's looking a little bit sad, just a little bit similar to all the ones I see on Facebook. So I might peruse the lovely stickers website later and see if there's anything there that could jazz up my G29 anyway. No. I might fancy a race this weekend. So Bunny's fuel is flashing. But we've only got 1 minute left of racing. That's probably this a lap, possibly. Shadow Rider didn't quite do anything. So yeah, if you're looking for racing, you can always check out Grid Finder. They always tell you where all the best racers are. Pat there crossing the line. Oh, what could have been? What could have been? A 29.3. Pat really did lose the pace. Oh, the fuel's flashing, so maybe he's really fuel saving. Leaning that bad boy out. We've only got 30 seconds left of racing. Someone's going to cross the line, but I don't think it's Skyjacker. But I think he's going to get across the line. We're worried about his fuel. He's managed to make it last this long, but he's got to do another lap. I think he might run out on that. We're not quite finished yet. Joker struggling with fuel as well, but he's had to cross the line for another lap. So who's crossing the line then? Bunny. Going to go across the line. Is he going to have to do another lap? There's still 3 seconds on the clock and the fuel is really tight, and Shadow Rider brings her home at 4th spot. Cracking stuff for Shadow Rider. Another podium for the Porsche driver Cymex. Oh, it looks like he's done some damage on the front of that Dodge on his way to the podium. On the final lap, everyone's fuel was just tighter as a duck's buttocks, because they're not allowed to let water in their bum, so they have tight bums. So Cymex getting a great third. Take a boo, my son. Pat, what could have been? That third place was there. It was hanging its nose out. But Pat doing a great one-stop strategy. Look at his tyres near the end. Great stuff from Pat for another 4th. He equals his best. And Skyjacker, he has run out of fuel. Where's Jokers? Jokers. He's coming. He's coming. Jokers is on his way. Oh my word. Jokers coming past Skyjacker. A last minute pit overtake, and Skyjacker just crawling home in 6th, sorry. And here comes Jokers to get that last minute 5th place. And then we'll cut to Bunny, who's coming around the final corner now. Oh, I'm going to have to pause it on Bunny because Skyjacker's going to cross the line. No, there goes Bunny, and a pause. No, he hasn't crossed the line yet. Hang on. Pause. There you go. So Bunny takes the win. What a peculiar race. I loved that. That was really interesting. with all the strategies and stuff that went on. So hang on, let me just turn the light on because it suddenly got really dark and I can't see the results when I write them down. So oof. Bunny takes his first win. I think it's in the VRC. I think it's his first win in the VRC, but it's definitely his first win this season. So does that put him into championship contention? He's had some great results this season. Starting at round 1, he got 5th in the sprint and a DNF in the feature, but with drop scores. That should take care of that. In the second round, he got 4th in the sprint, 7th in the feature. In the third race, he got 2 podiums, 2 third places. In round 4, he got 2 second places. Then in the sprint race of this round, he got 6, and now a win. Superb. Right, second place, Shadow Rider. The streak continues. 2 second places for him here at Laguna Seca for Porsche, doing wonders for his championship. Skyjacker being his closest contender down there in 6th. Cymex, a great 3rd place. Another strong podium from the Polish driver. Cymex. Yeah, 2 rounds, 2 double 3rd places. Congratulations. Take a boo, my son. Brilliant stuff. Pat, 4th. Ooh, Pat. I think the podium was on today, Pat. If all truth be known, I reckon, but it was a big ask. Tyres look absolutely undrivable at the end of the race, so it was a big ask to get the podium, but it was close. So 4th place, equaling his best, is Pat there in the Ford Mustang, loving life. In there, last lap, massive overtake on the last lap, grand finish for Jokers. Didn't get a position. I don't know if he got a position in the first race, but he got himself a 5th position here in the Jaguar for the feature race at Laguna Seca. Skyjacker had an awful start, came back with an interesting strategy. Just the fuel, he just needed 1 less lap on this race, and finishes in 6th place, ahead of Jim, who had all sorts of woes in that Ferrari, grabbing himself 7th position. Hoo-wee. Let's go back to your winner. Oh, is there a better shot of the McLaren? It's alright, it's not bad, it's a bit close. So that was that. Round 5 over and done with. Round 6, it's all back to Skyjacker. Oh, hang on, in the chat we've got Racer Brown saying congratulations Bunny with a checker flag, and Skyjacker saying appalling race 2 for me. He's not happy with himself. Thanks very much, Thingy. Hey, it's my pleasure. That's what I do. I love it. So everything resumes back to normal. Well, later on, in about an hour and a half, hour and 3/4. That means nothing if you're watching this at some other time, but if you're watching live, we're going to have the big grand finale, double points at Brands Hatch GP for the specific gym. So please join us on the chat there and then. Pat in the chat saying was quite pleased with these races on Tuesday night. Wasn't sure myself if the podium was in reach with what is usually a fuel hungry car and a new personal best finishing then equaling it. No, brilliant stuff, Pat. No. I'm not saying you should have got a podium. I'm just saying it may have been on. It might have been. Because you were right behind Shadow Rider when he came out the pits. But you're right. If you had to fuel save a little bit, that would be why Shadow Rider pulled away. Yeah, so join us for Specific Gym in a bit. And then next week, I'm back on nights, I'm afraid. So you're back to watching replays. But it's probably better that way, because then I can get more of the overtaking manoeuvres in with the replay, the going backwards function. So I was your commentator and a broadcaster. This one's for Pat McGroin. Thank you. I'll catch you in an hour or so. Bye. Well done, Bunny. Well done, Shadow Rider. Well done, Cymex. And in the first races, Well done, Skyjacker. Well done, Shadow Rider, and well done, Cymex. Can't wait to see the table on this one. This championship's getting really juicy, boys. Getting a real juice on this one. Anyway, that was me. What did I say my name was? Pat McGroin. See you later.